Earlier today, I made a live video on the Facebook. I was talking about Christmas carols because there's a thing going around right now about Christmas carols and how appropriate or inappropriate they are in this day and age, and because it stemmed from a conversation that I had at breakfast time with my best friend, where we were discussing. She had posted a picture on her wall about the different parts of these different Christmas carols and how we were being forced to be politically correct, blah, 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 blah. So this is, so I thought that I found it very interesting because it touched on a few things that we have touched on already this year in regards to the Me Too movement and transgender and intersex and all of these new things that, new things that have come to the forefront. Oh, and let's not forget all the racism and sexism and classism and all of that is happening. That is happening in this day and age, which is absolutely fucking outrageous to me, because we have all the information available to us to educate ourselves on right and wrong, and not the right and wrong that we're taught when we're kids, because we have to keep in mind that we come from, like our parents, and our parents come from their parents, etc., etc. Of course, like that doublemint thing, and in doing so, we are brought up with information that is passed on through generations, and it has been proven over and over and over again that some of the information that has been passed on over the last, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 100 years is kind of incorrect, like pretty incorrect, like really incorrect. So, with that in mind, we come to today and people being offended by things that fucking right they should be offended by, right? And so here, let's talk about this just for a second. Our children and our grandchildren, I'm going to be 49 years old soon, so I'm going to be talking about people my age and people a little bit older than I am, and maybe a lot older than I am. We still have a couple of generations of people, so that are here, and the younger generations. I have a really good opportunity to get to know kind of a little bit of what's going on out in the world because of what I do. So people come in here and I meet all ages, and I'm really proud of this younger generation because they're very aware. They're very aware of things that we should be aware of, that some of us are maybe a little bit aware of, but these kids have got this shit going on, and I say that because they're not going to tolerate what we have allowed, what we have perpetuated for the last, I'm gonna go 100 years, okay? Because that's what, let's go for 100 years, but it's more than that. Our society has been created by white men, and they have been fueled by greed. We cannot deny that. We just simply can't. It is a white man that has perpetuated the racism, the sexism, all of that over the centuries. To say anything different would be a lie. We don't have to be what we were, but sadly, as everybody can see of what's going around in our climate, our world climate, we are perpetuating and continuing with that, to repeat history. But anyway, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to get off. So, if we have been taught by generations of misinformation, and we are just now again, me, 49, hopefully have taught my daughter, who is now teaching her children. So, we're just a couple of generations in, maybe one generation. Guys, some parents in the 60s were aware, but again, it gets more and more as the more interconnected we become, the more educated we become at a younger age. Properly educated, we become at a younger age. Once we're properly educated, we need to make better decisions so we can make changes. And changes come with little steps. Big changes happen because a lot of little changes have happened to support those big change. And one of those big changes is to stop allowing our children to be polluted by information that is not healthy, not proper, not kind, and won't harm them. The songs that have been sung over and over and over and over and over again for generations, right? So like, let's talk about one of them was made, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer 69 years ago, and The Baby It's Cold Outside 54 years ago. So like, slavery, fucks, was still happening 54 years ago in our backyards. Some of us literally in our backyards. We have not really come that far. We need to catch up. And with that, I mean, we cannot allow songs that show somebody blatantly trying to push somebody to do something that they don't want to. We cannot celebrate songs that people are bullying each other. We can't celebrate songs where people are like having adultery affairs, like Kissing Santa, where daddy sleeps in the other room. These songs are supposed to be celebration songs. This holiday in general, this Christmas thing, all these holidays are supposed to be family, positive, beautiful, Christ, whatever the fuck it's all about, holidays. They're not supposed to be holidays that talk about drinking too much and running over somebody with a reindeer sled. You know what I mean? Like, if we have no choice about what is going to be put into our children's head, can we not make it that it's positive stuff? I understand that there is tons and tons of very, very volatile music out there in the world today, but not all of it is played every fucking year for 2 months solid in every public forum that you go to. No other music that we have our children are exposed to as much as Christmas music. And I understand that when we, our older generation, me, and we hear this music, it brings back warm, fuzzy things for us because of memories that we associate with that. And that's fucking great, and I get that. And maybe we can listen to that music in the confines of our own home, and maybe listen to that music with a conversation that goes along with it, with the younger generation, that acknowledges the fact that these songs are not celebrating kindness and humanity. And maybe when you look at it that way, you might not want to support things that don't celebrate kindness and humanity, because that doesn't make change. So I hope that going forward we can use these times when we, and I mean us, our older generation, are faced with some of the shitty realities of our upbringing. I hope that we can use these as conversation pivot points with our younger generation so they can teach us and we can teach them. Because we do have a lot to learn from each other. They know a lot of stuff. They get it. They get that things have not been done right, that we have not been treating each other with kindness, that we have forgotten, or perhaps we never allowed ourselves or other people to know that we are all equals, and that we all bleed the same, and that we all shit, and that it doesn't matter the color of our skin or who we sleep with. It doesn't matter if we're a girl or a boy, or if we're somewhere in between. It doesn't matter how we get to where we are. Usually all the feelings that we have are all the same, because what does matter is that we all start out the same. And in the end, we all leave the same. So perhaps in the middle we could stop being so pompous and open your eyes to the world around you, because we need to make some changes in order to survive. I'm grateful that I have this opportunity and platform to speak to all of you about things that I'm passionate about. I know that sometimes it comes off that I think that I'm that I don't even know. Like I really hope that it doesn't. How about this? I'm just a girl. I'm a camel. I have a business where I connect with people. I've had a life that I've connected with people and myself, and it is from those experiences that I bring the conversations here with you guys. So I don't claim to know anything. I have no education other than life, and life is pretty fucking solid education sometimes. So please, I beg you, be good to yourselves. Take the time to have conversations with each other and with your children, because we need to join together and make some changes. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye.